Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
They got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
This is the next search on February 28, 2020, 7:44 p.m. How, does the FBI find people? And people's misspelled P-E-O-O-P-L-E.
What more do you need to see?
Did the defendant find out how the FBI finds people in this case? Oh, she found out.
Because he's the guy.
I object.
Welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. It's good to have you here. Welcome, Regina. Regina Crawford, first in chat here this afternoon. Regina, I'm glad you're here. I really am. Don't take this the wrong way, but it was all quiet in the chat room, and then you blurted out hi, and now look what's happened in the chat room. We're holding you accountable for all of this, all of that, and as such, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to internet ownership for the rest of the afternoon. That's right. You're punished with owning the internet, and you have to maintain it for everyone worldwide. Congratulations, Regina. You're going to do absolutely fabulous. I see everyone is taking a seat. Welcome. Please come on in. It's we've got a little bit of time before court begins. So hope you had a good lunch. I had pickles on my sandwich, so I'm not complaining. It was a good lunch for me. It was wonderful. Pause member for 9 months says, was Elder Scrolls grandma, was gone 3 weeks, missed y'all, glad to be home. Pause, welcome. Elder Scrolls grandma, I remember that. Like the new name as well. It's wonderful. Witchy Mama, see something, say something, in my opinion. Welcome. 15 months, Witchy Mama. Congratulations. That is awesome. I appreciate your support as well. Let's see. Do you wake yourself up in the middle of the night pressing imaginary buttons? No, I sleep right through it, but I probably do. I don't actually push very many buttons during the show. It's prepping the show and then, making changes. So we might want to bring on, let's see, let's do a 2-box, something like that. We might want something like this, or just weird. I think I could do like some crazy stuff here. Let's do like 4 boxes in that setup. Or I do like pressing buttons and moving things around differently, but I think we're just going to do the 1 box for now. Oh, this one. There we go. I do like pressing buttons, but we don't do it during this show very much. I noticed you mentioned pickles a lot. What are the best ones to get and what flavor? Barb, I am glad you asked. We mentioned pickles because we say pickles, not politics. Not because politics are a conversation I don't think is important or that I think you shouldn't participate in. Neither of those are true. But because I found that this format, this live stream on the internet with group chat, is probably the least effective format to have a political conversation. So we say, we'll talk about pickles, not politics. And it just so happens that I do like pickles. Red Pen is like, here comes the SMBP talk. Yes, we're talking to that. Spicy maple bourbon pickles will change your life. They are absolutely amazing. They're available across the country at Walmart. Top shelf usually. But they are a Walmart's Select Choice brand, and they're spicy maple bourbon pickles. Think of like a sandwich pickle, not dill, but with spice. It opened my eyes to new ideas that I had never seen before. They were so good, and they serve
the Walmart.
They sell them in single serving size, so you can get yourself a big jar, and they're delicious. Soul Glow says, so this is live court for this Saturday? Yes, Soul Glow. It's weird because we don't normally see this. We see court being held on Saturday typically when it's either like little arraignments or things that happen every day of the week, even on Christmas and holidays, or Sundays and holidays, or we have a sequestered jury. In this case, we have a sequestered jury. What that means is that when the jury was picked out and they all answered the questions and sat there and were interrogated by the prosecution and defense and the judge and filled out all the forms and everything. When they were selected to sit on the jury, these are going to be the 12 jurors plus however many alternates we have, usually between 2 to 4. They were told, by the way, when you show up for jury service, bring your go bag, bring a few changes of clothes, because you're going to be staying in a hotel. We're going to keep you. You're not going to be going home again until this trial is over. They are sequestered away from the public, away from the news, away from radio, away from their family, from their jobs. This is the only thing they should be paying attention to. And because that is such a burden on the jurors, and that is a huge ask to have them do that, the court says, look, we're not going to make you just hang out in the hotel over the weekend. We're going to make you work over the weekend. That way it'll go a little faster. It'll take a little less time. So live court on a Saturday, and we're here for it. Susan says, yeah, I might never go to Walmart if I can help it, but those sound really good. There are some other stores that carry them. I know if you're around Food Lions, Food Lion has their own store brand as well. They're made the exact same place. I don't know who does it, but the same company makes the pickles for both Walmart and for Food Lion. Same jars, same lids. It's just a different label on it. You like blind test, you will not be able to tell the difference between the two. Let's see. They're not for everybody. They do have a tiny bit of heat to them. And I would not recommend eating the pepper that comes inside the pickle jar unless you really like heat, because it'll lay you up. It'll change your life. Let's see. How about a quick update on the bathroom? My sons, I gave them instructions. They did it. They put together, they assembled and cemented in all the PVC drainage for the sink placement. So that's where it's going to be now, because it's all glued in. But we now have the drain configured with a proper amount of slope to let the water drain. It all has to go downhill. That's the most important thing you remember about plumbing, is make sure it goes downhill. And so as long as it keeps going downhill, it gets to the drain, we're good. So they did that. We are now, I think this afternoon after the live stream, Mrs. R.A. and I are going to go to the store and buy the shower pan, the bottom part of the shower, the waterproof section of the shower that we want. And I've never had like a large shower, but I wanted like a 42 inch by 42 inch shower, so that we could have like all the different faucets and rain fall from above and the pressure washer and the steam. We're not getting that. That's what I wanted. But it turns out we're probably going to get a 36 by 36, which is still a good size shower. But anyway, shower party. Yes. We're going to go see if we can find something to do. Pam says, Scott has the kids doing things in the bathroom, so if it goes wrong, he blames them. Well, there's a little bit of truth to that. No, they're really good. The older son is really good at following instructions, and the younger son has actually worked with my friend who's a contractor doing construction, and did a lot of building the Airbnb for us. So I trust them really well. They're probably better at it than I am. Okay. Yeah, Anna, they're welcome to learn it. I'm not inclined to do any more there. I hate home repair. Oh, I hate it. It never ends. Indy Cindy, member for 20 months. One of our OGs says, I bought maple bourbon spicy pickles from Walmart, and I love them. Thanks, Scott, for the recommendation. See, not everyone does. There's like I'd say 1% of people are saying that's too much for me, but they're so good. I wonder how Grillo's pickles with flat iron chili flakes would taste. Oh, the other Jules, that sounds, somebody ought to try that. I think that someone should be me. I should do that. Corey, one of our OGs as well, member for 22 months. If anyone needs some good news, my twins are 10 months old today and thriving, toddling, and babbling. Thank you for the community you've built. All right, Corey, congratulations. Twins at 10 months. Oh, my goodness. I never had any twins. That's a lot of work. I have a hard enough time telling my kids apart. When I call one, I usually call them all the other names before I call them their own name. But twins would just be that much harder. Okay, about to come back to court. We'll have this here for you in a minute. I think we're going to be continuing the video of the different interviews, the many interviews. Some of them several of them took place all in one day, which defense is sort of poked at a little bit, sort of making you think that she was just held there and interrogated over and over and over and over. But really, she just lied and lied and lied and lied. ASAP, Letitia Stout, about 20 months, one of our OGs as well. Thank you very much. Oh, I have a confession. I don't do birthdays. I remember my wife's birthday and one of my kids' birthdays because it falls on a holiday. Other than that, I could not tell you the month. My brain just struggles on birthdays. It's all I can do to remember my own, which is coming up. It's exciting. I guess it's always coming up, just how far away. Alice, I have not heard any updates from Daryl Brooks. That's where this channel started. What's he up to? Oh, Joni, that's a huge upgrade. What are you going to do with all this space? I tell you, I can fill space. You give me space, and I'll find ways to fill it. But I like to buy technology stuff. I have this little addiction. Do you know any of your mods' birthdays? I'm sorry. I have a mod for that. I have a mod to remind me when the other mods' birthdays are. All right. I'm sorry, Samantha. I have the best mods in the world. Thank you so much. I appreciate them. Okay, that being said, we are going to be beginning court here in just a minute. We've had twice now. We've had a little tech issue on the replay of some of the interview clips of Megan at the police station. They've sort of paused. The judge has kicked the jury out both times and given the prosecution, who's standing in front of the camera now, a chance to just find the right spot, because he can't rewatch it. You can't just go back and say, oh, we'll just watch it again. The defense would be right in objecting and saying that was, it's duplicative. There's the word. But duplicitous. Red Pen, is it duplicitous or duplicative? It's doubling up. I don't tell anybody when my birthday is. I have ways, Amber. I have ways of finding out. Josh, I appreciate you telling me. My kids tell me their birthdays too. But just that quick, I forgot. So, it's if, not us. Okay, duplicative. Duplicative, I think, in your context. Are they both words? Is that why I'm confused? We have the best mods. Judge is here. It looks like we're going to be starting here momentarily. Cameraman's not taking any chances looking around the room. But that's all right. Okay, where's our... Oh, in all my button pressing, I got rid of our counter. That's not it. I mean, that is it, but that's not the one I want. I'll have to edit and save it again. It needs to be that size right there. We'll use the buttons to make it work. Super source.
We bring Harry in at the ready.
sir. I pretty much forget to.
Everyone stand, please.
I think it's funny they say everyone stand, please. Every other court in the country says all rise.
You may be seated. Thank you. All right, gentlemen, you can continue.
Your Honor, that was the end of that video clip. We just wanted
Okay.
to double check.
Yes.
We can go ahead and submit that to the court reporter.
That's how it ended, right there.
It was exhibit number 184. Okay. Okay. Anything else that you did personally involving this investigation other than continuing to be a liaison between the different agencies involved?
That's it.
Okay. Please answer any questions the defense has for you.
Thank you, Judge.
Well, she kind of stole one of my questions. This is the absolute only involvement you had in this case. I'll go back to that a little bit. Other than, I guess, your administrative roles as a liaison.
That's correct.
And these two interviews that you initiated or done with Miss Boswell, those both the same day?
Yes, sir.
And what date was that?
February the 20th.
Now, did you Mirandize her?
No, sir.
Were you the first person to interview her on the 20th?
If there was more after me, I believe so.
So you believe you might have been, would that have been the first interview we watched?
I think so.
And that would have been before Detective Gillum or Lieutenant Williams?
I'm not for sure of the time.
I'm sorry, I think those were different dates.
Well,
I'm sorry, I can't answer that.
that's okay. Do you recall anybody else interviewing Megan that day?
No, sir.
So it was just you and you alone?
I believe so.
And then you interviewed her a second time on the same day?
That's correct.
And how much space was in between those two interviews? How much time?
I'm sorry, I don't recall that.
Well, I'm not trying to trick you, but was it an hour, 2 hours, or just?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
That's okay. You interviewed her on the first one, and I imagine you stepped out of the office for some time. Would that be a fair statement?
I can't. Been 5 years. I'm sorry, I can't.
That's okay. You eventually come back and interview
That's
her.
correct. That's correct.
She never left
No,
and came back for a second interview.
not to my knowledge, no.
Be safe to assume she just sat there until the second interview occurred.
Correct.
Okay. Do you remember what time that was?
No, I sure don't.
What would have been your normal duty hours that day?
With an investigation like that, it could have been at any given time. I don't know. My normal work day would be like 0800 to 5 o'clock in the evening, but it could have been prior to that or even after.
Possibility these interviews could have occurred after 5 p.m.
Yes.
You just don't know.
Correct.
Fair enough. Just a second, Judge.
Yes.
If he was the first person to interview her,
Be fair to say, though, that your
Miranda.
second interview would have essentially been a continuation of the first interview, with attenuated by a brief amount of time.
That would be fair to say.
Okay. And you said you'd been a detective, actually the captain over the detectives. You were the captain of that little division, so to speak,
Yes.
both literally and figuratively in rank.
Yes.
And I imagine you've conducted a lot of interviews over your years in law enforcement.
Yes.
At the onset of this first interview, we hear Megan ask about her boyfriend, and you indicate that he's coming down to see her.
Yes.
And she represents she doesn't want that to happen.
Correct.
Did that have any significance to you as an investigator?
No, not at that point. During the course of the investigation, I was doing my best to either get new information or to clarify other information. So when she said that, that's when I believe I stepped out to ask to have a phone call made by another detective for her.
And that would that be to just prevent the boyfriend from coming down?
She was wanting to see her mother, if I remember correctly, wanting her mother to pick her up.
And not her boyfriend?
Correct.
And that never resonated with you of why would she not want that?
Objection to speculation.
Sustained.
Okay, Judge. Can I just say?
That's the state trying to point some of the blame at Hunter. That's what we said they were going to do. They've got this free scapegoat that can't defend himself.
Really what you were interviewing about on this day was essentially the same subject matter, a missing child, that Detective Raz and Lieutenant Gillum
that's
interviewed.
defense.
Yes, sir.
I said state.
So that was the focus of all of these interviews.
Yes, sir.
And so whether you interviewed first or they interviewed later, they would all be a continual interview over a matter of time.
It was a continuing effort.
I'll take that. That's all the questions I have, Judge.
Thank you. Redirect.
No, Your Honor.
Is he free to be released?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for your testimony. You're released from your subpoena. You're free to go. All right, next.
State will call Jeffrey Blanton.
I personally think that Megan not wanting Hunter to come down was because Hunter would immediately dispel the lies that she'd been telling. And him in the same room with the police, Hunter had been told one thing and the police had been told another. And that's why she didn't want him there. It was not that she was worried about his criminal past or, is he safe to be around? I don't want him around my daughter type thing. I think it was the lies that she knew that she would be in a tough spot then with people that she told two different things.
Raise your right hand. State your name.
Jeff Blanton.
You solemnly swear or affirm testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Let's see what.
So your name is Jeffrey Blanton.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And your last name's spelled Blanton. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where are you currently employed?
I'm currently employed by East Tennessee State University.
Okay. And what is your title there?
I'm the Associate Vice President of Administration and Operations.
Okay. How long have you been with ETSU?
Since January of 2021.
Okay. And is that where you were employed in late 2019 and early 2020?
No, ma'am, it was not.
Okay. Where were you employed during that time?
By the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Okay. In what capacity?
At that time, I was the supervisory senior resident agent in charge of Upper East Tennessee.
Okay. And how long did you work for the FBI?
Just shy of 25 years.
Okay. Were you always employed with Upper East Tennessee Division?
No, ma'am. I've traveled other places.
Okay. Were you a member of the state or Safe Streets Task Force?
Yes, ma'am. I actually started the Safe Streets Task Force in Johnson City in 2012, and during 2019, I supervised the Safe Streets Task Force.
Can you tell the jury what that is?
Yes, the Safe Streets Task Force is made up of federal, state, and local officers and agents. And the purpose of the task force is to combat violent crimes. The typical violent crime you would think of in bank robbery, drugs, extortions. And we also got involved in crimes against children as it relates to the Lindbergh Law from 1932.
Okay. And were you employed in that capacity on that task force along with the FBI when you were asked to aid in the investigation of missing child Evelyn Boswell?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Okay. What were you tasked with doing?
Detective Strickler from the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office notified me that there was a missing child in Sullivan County under the tender age, which by statute is 12 years old.
Okay.
That gives the FBI jurisdictional authority to assist local agencies in trying to find that missing child.
Okay.
So I actually didn't have any agents available to come talk with Detective Strickler, so myself and another task force officer came here to the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office and met with Detective Strickler in regards to missing juvenile.
Okay. So in order for, to make sure I'm clear, in order for the FBI to be able to have jurisdiction and to provide aid, it needs to be a child 12 years of age or younger.
By our policy, we use the Lindbergh Law, the tender age law of 12,
okay,
it gives us jurisdiction to work those cases.
Okay.
However, we're not restricted by that if someone asks for help either.
Okay. So tender age being 12 or under 12?
Or younger, yes, ma'am,
okay,
that's correct.
And at some point in the investigation, did you yourself speak with Megan Boswell, the defendant?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. Was anyone else present when you spoke with Megan Boswell?
Yes, ma'am. Task Force Officer Todd Wilcox, who
okay,
was also present during that interview.
Okay. And what agency was Todd Wilcox employed with?
Todd was assigned full-time to the FBI Safe Streets Task Force, but his home office was the Irwin Police Department.
Okay. And on February 19th, 2020, is that when the interview took place with Megan Boswell, with Todd Wilcox being present as well?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And where did that interview take place?
That interview occurred here at the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. And where in the Sheriff's Office did it occur?
There was a room, I'm going to assume it was an interview room outside of the detective's offices.
Okay. Is that located in Sullivan County, Tennessee?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. Was this interview video or audio recorded?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And can you explain to the jury why it was not?
Certainly. FBI policy does not allow us to audio or video record interviews outside of FBI space.
Okay.
If we are in FBI space, then certainly that's an option, but this interview was not recorded.
Okay.
Seems like a weird policy.
Let's see. Do you know how Megan Boswell got to the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office that day?
I don't have. She volunteered. She spoke with me. She said voluntarily, but I'm not sure exactly if someone dropped her off. If she
okay,
walked there, I don't know how she got there.
Okay. So you sat down with an interview with her, and what did she tell you regarding her missing child, Evelyn Boswell?
She told me, and Agent Wilcox, that she had last seen Evelyn Boswell on December the 25th of 2019.
Okay. And where did she say she had last seen Evelyn?
She last saw Evelyn at the residence of Ethan Perry's grandparents. I believe their names were Carl and Sherry.
Okay. And did she state that she left Evelyn there, or did she state that she took Evelyn back after she went to that residence?
Yes, ma'am. I'll back up a little bit. The 25th is the last time she said that she saw her.
Okay.
She did tell me that she dropped her off at the residence on the 24th of December, the day before.
Okay. Was she able to give you an exact address of where she said Ethan was staying?
No, ma'am, she could not.
Okay. Did she say when she went to Carl and Sherry Perry's residence whether or not anyone was with her?
When she dropped Evelyn off on the 24th of December.
The 24th, okay.
Yes, ma'am. She indicated that she did that alone, that no one was with her when she dropped her off.
Okay. Did she tell you what she did after she dropped Evelyn off that day?
Yes, ma'am. She informed me that she and her family then went with her boyfriend at the time, a fellow by the name of Hunter Woods.
Okay.
That Hunter and her family went to Margaritaville in Pigeon Forge, spent the night in Margaritaville, and then came back to the Sullivan County area on December the 25th.
Okay. Okay. Did she tell you if she went back to the Perry's residence after she dropped her off on December 24th?
Yes, ma'am, she did. She indicated that she went back on the 25th.
Okay. Did she say why she went back?
Yes, ma'am. Upon returning from Pigeon Forge, Margaritaville, Pigeon Forge, Ms. Boswell indicated that she stopped by Tommy's house, I think Tommy Boswell Jr., if I remember correctly, and picked up some Christmas presents for Evelyn Boswell.
Okay.
On the 25th, she and her boyfriend, Mr. Woods, took the presents to the Perry's residence to drop them off for Evelyn.
Okay. And did she say whether or not they went into the house that day?
Ms. Boswell indicated that Mr. Woods did not go with her up to the residence, that he dropped her off at the end of the driveway. She walked to the residence, and that she did not go into the house that day.
Okay. So she indicated that Hunter Wood stayed at the end of the driveway.
That's correct.
So did she indicate that they didn't even pull up to the top of the driveway to the house?
She indicated they did not pull up to the top of the driveway.
Okay. Why did she say that she wouldn't pull up to the top of the driveway?
She had some concern that Mr. Perry and Mr. Woods may get in some sort of argument or altercation. Therefore, Mr. Woods stayed at the bottom of the driveway, and Ms. Boswell went up to the residence alone.
Okay. Did she indicate that she spoke with Ethan that day?
She did, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did she indicate whether or not she saw Evelyn that day?
She indicated that she did see Evelyn on the 25th, but according to memory, she saw her on the 25th, but less than an hour.
Less than an hour, okay. Did she indicate whether she saw anyone else at the residence that day?
No, ma'am, she did not.
Okay. And did she indicate that she went back to the residence at any time after that?
I don't have a recollection that she went back. I know she tried to make contact, she said, with her daughter Evelyn later, but I don't recall she went back to the residence.
Okay, so it's your belief that the last date was December 25th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. To your knowledge, did she tell you whether or not she'd ever left Evelyn with Ethan Perry prior to this time?
I don't recall that she indicated she had ever left her daughter with Ethan Perry prior to this.
Did she talk at all about the fact that Ethan was in the Army?
Yes, ma'am, she did.
Okay. What did she say about that?
She told me that Ethan was in the Army, that he was home on break, and that she was going to let her daughter Evelyn stay with Ethan, who she indicated was his biological father, for the holiday.
Okay.
And that he also indicated that his contract was up, or was soon to be up, with the Army.
Okay. Okay, so after that date, December 25th, did the defendant indicate that she continued to go over to Ethan's house to try to see Evelyn?
No, ma'am, she did not.
Okay. So did she tell you she did not try to go back over?
Yes, ma'am. I recall having a conversation, and she said that she called, I think on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
But that she did not see Evelyn. There was some discussion, she indicated, between her at some point. I don't know if it was the 24th or 25th. I don't recall specifically. Maybe both days. She said they did get to an argument. That Mr. Perry said that he was going to try to get custody.
Okay. So she's telling you that Ethan had threatened her.
With attempting to get custody of Evelyn, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Did she show you any proof of any custody paperwork at any time?
She did not. I recall asking her who the biological father was on the birth certificate, and she indicated that it was not Mr. Perry. But I don't have any recollection of who that person was, if listed at all.
So at some point she told you Ethan Perry was not the father?
Not listed on the birth certificate.
Not listed on the birth certificate. Okay, I apologize. Okay. So, did Megan ever say why she hadn't contacted law enforcement when she could not get in touch with Ethan Perry?
Yes, ma'am, she did. I asked that question, and she said that because Mr. Perry had made threats that he would attempt to gain custody of the child,
Okay.
that she was fearful if she went to law enforcement that would further anger him and bolster his case about getting custody of the child.
Okay. Okay, so Megan has told you that she's never left Evelyn to stay with Ethan before this date. Did she ever explain to you why she felt like it was okay to leave Evelyn with essentially a stranger to Evelyn?
She indicated that she was, I recall her using the words worn out.
Okay.
That Evelyn was attached to her at the hip, and she needed a break. That she had taken care of Evelyn for a year, and she felt like it was time for Mr. Perry to step up.
Okay.
And that she had also been taking care of her father or stepfather's children, other children in the home.
Okay.
And she was tired.
Did she indicate whether or not she could handle Evelyn herself?
She indicated she was just getting too much to handle. Yes, ma'am.
There it is.
Did you explain to Megan Boswell that the repercussions of lying to an FBI agent?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did she indicate that she understood?
Yes, ma'am, she did verbally.
Okay. Did she ever tell you she wanted to correct any of the information that she had given you?
No, ma'am, I went through all of the information in the notes that were taken and read them back to Miss Boswell, and she indicated she had nothing to correct.
Okay. So she continued to say that everything that she told you about Ethan was true?
That's correct. Yes, ma'am, she did.
During this interview, can you describe Megan Boswell's demeanor?
Yes, ma'am. Megan Boswell was very matter of fact, completely unemotional. It seemed to be unattached to the gravity of trying to locate a 1-year-old child at the time. She did show some emotion, began to tear up a little when I told her that she could be charged with a felony pursuant to lying to an agent if what she was saying was not true.
Okay. Okay, so after that date, as the investigation continued, were you able to confirm whether the story she was telling you on that day was true or not?
At a later date, yes, ma'am. I was able to confirm that she had not been truthful with me during that initial interview.
Okay. Please answer any questions the defense has for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Stop.
Good afternoon, Mr. Blunt. My name is Gene Scott. How are you?
Great, sir. Hope you are.
Thank you. What time of day was it when you arrived at the Sheriff's Department to conduct this interview?
It would have been in the afternoon. I can't give you an exact time, but I recall Detective Strickland calling me. I was actually sitting at my desk, so it was in the afternoon, if I recall correctly.
Okay. And as I understand it, it was at your behest that the interview was not recorded in that room. You had the cameras turned off because of FBI policy.
Yes, sir. The FBI, we take copious notes and document thoroughly and go back over with the person we're interviewing to make sure the person is true and accurate in what we have documented. And our policy at the time, and I've been retired for a few years, but our policy at the time was not to record those interviews.
Okay.
Not unless they occurred in FBI space.
Prior to conducting this interview, had you watched any other interviews of Megan Boswell with law enforcement?
No, sir, I had not personally watched any.
Okay. Has you been made aware of other interviews with her?
It seems like Detective Strickler may have spoken with her prior to me speaking with her, but I don't know the gist of those interviews.
Okay, that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Redirect.
No, Your Honor.
Is he free to go?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir, for your testimony.
Yes, sir.
You're released from your subpoena.
Some quick FBI testimony. We're old school. We do pen and paper.
Say we call David Gratz.
With each law enforcement interviewer that gets up and testifies that she lied to them, that's meeting the elements of the charges for some of these, what are they, 10 charges she's facing for lying to police. 12 charges? Ooh. The feds are shy. They don't like video. Federal courts don't have cameras. FBI doesn't do audio recordings, audio video recordings. Thank you, Iris.
Raise your right hand, state your name.
David Gratz.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I swear.
Thank you. Please tell the jury your name and please spell your last name for them, please.
My name is David Gratz. It's spelled Gratz.
Okay. Where are you currently employed?
I'm an attorney in the private practice of law.
Okay. And prior to that, where were you employed?
By the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
Okay. When did you first start with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation?
In August of 2019.
Okay. And what was your title during that time?
I was a special agent criminal investigator.
Okay. Can you give the jury a brief summation of what that job entails?
Yes, I was assigned to the criminal investigation division. So it's what a larger department might call like a major crimes unit. So we investigated things like death investigations, missing persons, adults and children, officer-involved shootings, and public corruption.
Okay. If you can also just give the jury a brief summation of your education up until the point of starting your first job.
So I graduated from East Tennessee State University with a bachelor's degree in 2011. I continued on and went to law school at Lincoln Memorial University School of Law and graduated with a law degree in 2014. And do you want me to go into my first employment?
Please.
My first position was with the District Attorney General's office in the 3rd Judicial District, primarily assigned in Morristown.
Okay. And then you went to the TBI thereafter. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And were you employed with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation in February of 2020?
Yes, I was.
And were you called to assist in the investigation of missing child Evelyn Boswell?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Which agency requested the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's help?
Initially, it was called in by the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office for us to assist in an investigation of a missing child. And later, we were formally requested in writing to assist by the District Attorney General based office.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm handing you a document. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it?
This is a formal request for investigation commonly issued by district attorney generals throughout the state to request the TBI to investigate facts and circumstances of a potential crime.
Okay. And is that how the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation essentially is officially called in to investigations?
In a lot of what CID does, yes, we are requested by the District Attorney General.
Okay. And on this specific request, what were you being asked to do?
It's essentially just to gather the facts and circumstances of the whereabouts of a missing child.
Okay.
It was Evelyn Boswell.
Okay. Were you given any background information to help you start your investigation?
And like most cases, you receive very little background information. Initially, I was just essentially told that she was missing, that her mother had been located, and law enforcement had talked to her at that point. And I think that's about all I was told initially.
Okay, and we can pass that back. We're not going to put that into evidence. I just wanted you to be able to see that document.
Thank you. Thank you.
We approach her.
I'm fascinated with this witness's career path. First of all, he's local. He's local to Tennessee. That's where he went to school. But going to the FBI first, and then becoming a lawyer. That's awesome. Love it. Kelly Dawn, welcome to the jury. Thank you so much, Kelly. The big benefit being on the jury, you get padded seats, reserved virtual seating. Make sure you type !seat in chat. You'll be ushered to your unrestricted view seat there in the courtroom, virtually, of course. Thank you. Help yourself to the emojis. Appreciate your support, Kelly. He makes that suit look good. He is a. It looks like he's ready for a photo shoot for the law office. If they were doing like profile pictures for all the attorneys, he's ready for that picture today. I mean, his look is impeccable, snazzy. He looked directly at the space shuttle. I was like, why is that here? He's his own boss. He worked for the man for long enough. Now he's his own man. Explain the space shuttle, please. I think it's just the judge's. It's either an interest or a hobby, or something somebody gifted to him that might mean something to him a little bit. There could be a connection somewhere more than that, but it's the judge's desk, and he wanted something on it. I have goat and pickles on mine. I mean, got screaming goats and pickles, and a little YouTube button. Maybe he wanted to be an astronaut, and it didn't work out, so he became a judge instead.
Let me pass you a document.
The flashlight's actually a laser pointer. The witness uses that to indicate
And
on the
I'm going to
screen.
ask if you recognize that document.
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it?
This is essentially a standard form made by TBI in Nashville of an Amber Alert poster, and it was issued specifically for the victim here, Evelyn Boswell.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of the Amber Alert that was prepared and in regards to missing child Evelyn Boswell?
Yes, it is.
We'd ask that be made exhibit number 185.
Would be exhibit 185. Thank you.
Defense. Okay. And permission to publish, Your Honor. Okay. I'm going to ask you a few questions about this. You said this is the Amber Alert that was sent out in regard to missing child Evelyn Boswell. Is that right?
That is correct.
Do you recall when the Amber Alert was issued?
Yes, it was in the evening of February the 19th,
Okay.
2020.
Okay. February 19th. Okay. And where does that go? Does that go just to the state of Tennessee, or how is the determination made on how far that would go?
That's a question that I don't specifically know the answer to.
Okay.
I know they are issued statewide.
Okay.
I know depending on the location, it can travel over into different states at times.
Okay. And the information on the
Susan,
bottom
welcome.
of this, it's
Thank
pretty small print.
I can see it.
Okay, you can see it okay?
I can.
Is the information listed here, and for where had the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation taken these details that are listed on the Amber Alert?
I'm sorry, I don't think I understand your question.
Where did you get the information that Evelyn was last seen wearing a pink tracksuit?
That information was provided to us by the defendant.
Okay. Where did you get information about a BMW?
Also from the defendant.
Okay. All right. Okay. So after the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation was assigned, can you give a brief description of how you, let me back up one step. What was your role in this investigation with the TBI?
I was assigned as the TBI case agent.
Okay, so that means essentially the lead case agent over the case for the TBI.
For TBI, yes.
Okay, so after you were assigned this investigation, can you give us a brief description of how you conducted your investigation?
So initially, you just arrive on scene and you try to get as much information as you can. You talk to the people who have already been there, find out what they have done. You talk with the local agency or agencies that are already involved, and you really just try to understand what's going on in the investigation and what has been done so far.
Okay, and were you working with other agencies at this point?
Yes.
Okay, which other agencies around February 18th, February 19th?
When I first arrived, it was TBI was on scene at the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office with Sullivan County, and I believe they were members of the Federal Bureau of Investigation on scene, FBI.
Okay, and how do you meet? How did all these agencies coming together? How do they decide how to execute a plan in an investigation like this?
In the initial phases, you really do the best you can, but it oftentimes goes to either the case agent or the highest in chain of command that is on scene, and they get together and decide which agency will play a role in what, and you just divvy up tasks.
Okay. As part of what you did you go to the trailer that Megan Boswell lived in with Evelyn prior to Evelyn going missing?
Yes, I did.
And do you remember when you went to that trailer?
That would have been the evening of the 19th of 2020, February 19th.
So the same day the Amber Alert went out?
That is correct.
Okay. Anyone go with you to that trailer?
Yes, Investigator Tracy Haraz with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. Why did you go there?
We were going initially to meet a young man named Austin Feller.
Okay. And did the defendant still live at that trailer?
No, she no longer lived there.
Okay. Was anyone living in that trailer at the time?
Yes, there were current tenants who had moved in.
Okay. If I could please see exhibits number 49 and 50.
Candace, that's so exciting.
going to show you two documents that have already been introduced into evidence. Is this the trailer that you were describing as being the defendant's trailer?
Yes.
Okay. Just another view. Is that an accurate view of that trailer?
It is.
Okay. And do you know the street address for that trailer?
I believe it's at 976 Sugar Hollow Road.
Okay. Is that located in Sullivan County, Tennessee?
It is.
Okay. Were you able to determine who actually owned the trailer?
Yes, I believe it belonged to the defendant's family, either her dad or her brother, some type of association owned it.
Okay. Were you able to determine if the defendant had left any property behind when she moved out?
Yes, we learned that there was still some property at the site.
And were you given consent to search that site and or anything attached to that property?
Yes, we were given consent to search a small outbuilding that was right there next to that trailer.
Okay. And did you also conduct a search outside the trailer?
I did, yes.
What were you looking for?
Any signs of disturbed dirt, anything that would lead us to believe that the victim may still be there, or anything that would lead us to her current whereabouts.
Okay. Did you find Evelyn?
No, we did not.
Did you find anything else that was significant to the investigation regarding anything associated with Evelyn?
Well, we did inside of the shed that was next to the trailer.
Okay. So, what did you find in the shed?
A stroller that had been left behind.
Okay. I'm going to show you two photographs.
Got an objection to the photographs. Just gut feeling this. Probably this is cumulative, possibly. We've already seen pictures inside the trailer. If these are more pictures inside the trailer. Ooh. Are they playing with a... They've got a bassinet or a playpen? Pack and play? A stroller? What? It's a stroller. Those are all the baby words I know. I went through all the equipment I know right there. They're setting it up in front of the jury. Is that a car seat stroller, or is that just a stroller? You ladies know, all you mothers, most of you parents know. Some strollers have the seat, the portion the child sits in, is removable and can snap into a car seat base. And other strollers are just a function of the stroller only. I'd say about 2.5. They barely got it done. Educate us moms. Hey, let me tell you how strollers work, because clearly I'm the one who could set it up. Bless you. tie is perfect. You can't tell me this man does not own a full-length mirror.
Do you still have the photographs?
All right, objection's overruled.
Yes, I do.
You still have the photographs? Okay.
I do.
Okay. Do you recognize those photographs?
Yes.
What is it?
These are two photographs of the stroller we found that evening.
Okay. And were you able to determine whose property that was?
Yes, this belonged to the defendant.
Okay. So when you say belonged to the defendant, you found it where again?
In the shed that's essentially not attached, but very close to the trailer where the defendant was living.
Okay. So it did not buy, you said there were new tenants in that trailer?
That is correct.
Okay. Did they indicate that was their stroller?
No, they...
Objection sustained.
Okay. Did you locate anything else of relevance to this investigation inside the shed?
Not that I can recall.
At this time, we're going to, well, let me ask this. The photographs, are they fair and accurate representation of how the stroller appeared on that date?
Yes.
Okay. We'd ask those be made, if possible, collective exhibit number 186.
The collective 186 over defendant's objection.
Permission to publish. And is this the stroller that was inside the shed that day?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And this is just a side view of that same stroller?
Correct.
Okay. Did you also take the stroller itself into evidence?
Yes, we did.
Okay. If Your Honor, may he step down for a second?
Yes. As long as he picked up on the
Okay. If you could step down to where the microphone is. And I'm going to ask if you can identify this piece, if you can recognize what that is.
Yes, I recognize that.
Okay, and what is it?
It's the stroller we found at the defendant's former trailer.
Okay. We'd ask that be made exhibit number 187.
be full exhibit 187, over objection.
And, Your Honor, would you like for us to fold that up? They're not always the easiest. Ooh, good job. Do you need help? Roll it up. See if we can roll it under the table. And that'll work. There you go. Thank you.
The cameraman's too scared of showing a computer to show the stroller, apparently. Oh, we need that view?
So I'm assuming, was law enforcement working long hours during these first few days?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did you attempt to interview the defendant about Evelyn?
Yes, later that night.
Okay. And what would the date have been for that?
When we attempted the interview, it was on February 19th of 2020.
Okay. And about what time did that interview start?
Shortly before midnight and continued on into the early morning hours of February the 20th.
Okay. Where did it take place?
At the sheriff's office here in Blumpville.
Okay. Was this interview audio or video recorded?
I believe that interview was audio only recorded.
Okay. And is that office that you interviewed located in Sullivan County, Tennessee?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Prior to talking with the defendant, did you Mirandize her?
I did.
Did she agree to speak with you?
She did.
During this interview, did she tell you the last time that she saw Evelyn?
Yes, she did.
Okay. When did she say she last saw Evelyn?
The day after Christmas, on the 26th of December, 2019.
Okay. Where did she say she saw Evelyn?
At Ethan Perry's grandparents' house.
Who did she say Ethan was in relation to Evelyn?
She had told us, or the defendant being she, had told us that Ethan Perry was Evelyn's father.
Did you talk with her about where Ethan was living?
I did, yes.
Okay, what did you tell her?
Told her that, we had learned that Ethan was full-time in the military and was currently living on a base in Louisiana, I believe, and was living in a barracks on a base.
Okay. Had law enforcement already talked to Ethan at this point?
Yes, they had the Army's branch of CID.
Okay. And did you tell the defendant that?
I did.
What did you tell her about Ethan and Evelyn?
I essentially just told her that law enforcement had cleared that idea that Ethan had Evelyn inside of a barracks.
Okay. Did Megan stay with that story about Ethan?
At that time, she maintained that all she knew was that Ethan had Evelyn.
Okay. And where did she say that she had been living?
As of recently, she told us, the defendant told us she had been living with her boyfriend, Hunter.
Okay. Did you ask her if Hunter could have hurt Evelyn?
I did. I asked that specifically.
What did she say?
The defendant said that Hunter would not do that.
Did you ask her if Hunter had been around Evelyn at all?
I did, yes.
And what did she say?
Essentially, no. At that point, she said Hunter had never been around Evelyn.
Okay. Did she say if Hunter had ever babysat Evelyn?
We were told by the defendant that Hunter never babysat Evelyn.
Did she say if Hunter had ever held Evelyn?
The defendant told us that Hunter had never held Evelyn.
Okay. Did you ask her if Evelyn had ever stayed at Hunter's house over on Sandy Point?
Yes, I asked her about that, and the defendant told me that no, Evelyn had never stayed over at Hunter's residence.
Okay. Prior to when she said she left Evelyn with Ethan, did she indicate whether she'd ever left Evelyn with Ethan in the past?
She told us that Ethan had never kept Evelyn alone prior to that day.
Okay. Did she tell you whether or not Evelyn had met Ethan before?
They had been introduced, I believe, briefly prior to that day on a trip to Texas.
Okay. Did the defendant tell you how many times she'd seen Evelyn after leaving her with Ethan in December?
I believe that we had talked about that, yes.
Okay. Do you recall how many times she said she'd seen Evelyn?
I don't think she had seen Evelyn at all after that December 26th date.
Started to object. I'll not make the objection. We approach the bench.
I'll not make the objection. Can we approach? What? Do I count it or not?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll have you go with the officer.
Everyone stand, please.
In some courtrooms, the jury is not excused very often. This one, they're getting their exercise. You have a request for a proffer here, or what? What does he want to do? Did you say proffer?
You may be seated. Thank you.
We'll take about a 15-minute break. Mr. Gatz, please do not discuss your testimony with any other witness during the break or allow them to discuss their testimony.
Yes, sir. Court stands in recess.
15-minute break for what? This is crazy. I'm going to count that. That's going to be 42. Rebecca, I'm with you on that one. If you approach the judge and he stops everything and calls a break, there's got to be an objection in there somewhere. So somebody had to pee. It wasn't the judge. It was the defense that called it. And just looking at, I don't know, I could go back and slow down the prosecution as is explaining to Ms. Massengill what it was. It looks like he said the word proffer, but he seemed confused as to why are they doing this now? This court takes more breaks than any court I've watched, I believe. Selena, let's see. We're at 1:50. We're at 2:15. So it is about a good time for a break. They're only going to run to about 4 o'clock today, if they stick on schedule. And so maybe this would be like the afternoon break. We've had a morning break. We had a lunch break. This would be the afternoon break, and then we should go till the end of the day after this. But So I'm a little bit behind. I normally drink, I normally drink 3 liters of water a day. Maybe I am a camel. 3 liters of water. I'm a little bit behind. I'm still about my the 1 liter mark. Randy says we should be counting breaks, not objections. I thought 2 hours and then a break. That's usually it. 2 hour break, 2 hour break, 2 hour break. Yeah, that's the schedule that most courts follow. How's there no timestamp on the police interview videos? Midwest Jess, seriously, how hard is it to have a little timer, time of day stamp embedded in the video? They don't have that, but they do have closed captioning. And the closed captioning has explanations of what's happening, like crosstalk and things like that. It's literally the closed captioning was added in after the fact, but no timers. There was a little complaint about the closed captioning, and I actually think it's an issue. Most police interviews do not have closed captioning. That is not the evidence, right? The words you see on the bottom of the screen are not the evidence. The words you hear on the recording are on a video like that. But when the audio is all garbled and the words on the screen sort of make it make sense, I think that's a problem. I think they should be. I mean, it helps us, and so I mean, it's hard to say they shouldn't have closed captioning because it does help us try to understand what at least the police closed captioner thought was going on. But a couple times today, there were some brackets on the closed captioning that had a little bit of an explanation. One time, a little more than others. But that's the same problem the state ran into with the text messages, with a little investigative note that was accidentally incorporated into the recreated text message screenshot. It seems like an issue. Let's see. Jenny, I named my daughter after a fish. The brook trout. There you go. No. My wife would kill me. When was she actually Mirandized? If it happened, it might have been off camera, or we know that these have been clipped down, right? We know that we haven't seen the beginning, we haven't seen the end of these videos. So it might have just happened outside of the portion that has been shown to the jury. Dory's the fish. Oh, man. Not Wanda. Nope, not Wanda. I have signs of blood sugar fluctuations. I have blood sugar fluctuations for sure. When I have pancakes for breakfast and maple syrup smothered over the top of them, I'm pretty sure my blood sugar fluctuates somewhat. And then some days when I don't eat breakfast at all, I think it fluctuates the other way. Please do a pretend Deer Park commercial water just for the fun. I could do that. I've actually got I'm not sure if I can say anything yet, but I got a request for a collaboration, which I'm hopeful works out. It's a big one, too. It's a big, fun one. Let's see. Halibut, Sloth Life. Just for the halibut. All right. Where we are today, we still got David Gratz on the stand. He looks sharp. Man, he looks... There's a Fed look that the witness before him had, and then there's the sharp-dressed attorney look, and he's got the sharp-dressed attorney look down. Looks great. Tilapia. Yeah, no, that would be a terrible name. I mean, unless that's your name, and then it's not, but I don't think I could name somebody Tilapia. Melissa Ann, you want the link for the screaming goat? Give me a second. I'll give you one. Love these little goats. They're actually fairly inexpensive as far as the amount of joy I get from them. All right, here we go. Oh, it's actually on sale. It's on sale. It's down 27% right now. And just for the record, I have to tell you that this is, in fact, an affiliate link, which means that if you do click on this link and make a purchase from Amazon, there you go. There's the link. Just got it up on the screen. If you do click on the link and make a purchase from Amazon, Amazon will reward you. It won't cost you any more. The price is the same, but Amazon will take some of that massive chunk of profit they make off your $7 and what was it? $7.96. And they might give a couple of those pennies to me as a thank you for referring you to their platform to make purchases. And also, I need a screaming goat for our Florida traffic. If you were to click on that link and either elect to or not to buy the goat and then find something else on Amazon and purchase that instead because it was something you actually needed instead of the goat, I would, in fact, also get a little kickback from Amazon as a thank you for sending you over to Amazon to make purchases. So big thanks to Amazon for letting us be a Amazon influencer and associate. Melissa says, thank you. That's why I wanted the link from you. I've already got the goat. I've already got a herd of goats. I just needed the link. Thank you. Mel says, seriously, I could probably pay your mortgage with my Amazon purchases. It's weird how it works. You have to click an affiliate link and then from there search. So if you already had stuff in your cart and then you click the affiliate link, that doesn't count. You have to get to Amazon from the affiliate link, and then everything in that session counts. It's just a weird little thing they do right there, but it has added up to, I think one month we got $36 from Amazon, which is awesome. Thanks to many of you buying goats, screaming goats. All right. Need to get the screaming pickle. Do you want the screaming pickle or the yodeling pickle? We have both here. Thanks to you all. Melissa says, I'm getting my first one now. If I buy one, will you sign it? I don't want to mislead you. If the camera angle has been poor, these goats are tiny. They can rest comfortably on top of the microphone if I can balance it here. They're little. This is my thumb, and it can hide quite well pretty much behind my thumb. I'm not sure if I could sign in any way other than maybe just squiggle an R and an A on it. We'd have to figure out how to postage and everything to it. Lobster, when's that happening? Kaylee, I don't know how to cook the lobster. I've never had lobster. I'm going to go to a restaurant and just buy one pre-cooked and try to eat it. One day I will taste lobster. It's on my bucket list before I die. Mello, didn't the last FBI agent say FBI didn't record outside of federal buildings? Yes. The FBI does not record interviews unless it's on FBI property. So we've seen interviews the FBI has recorded, that those must have been on FBI property, or possibly the policy changed since the witness who's on the stand was with the FBI. Laurie, what link are you looking for? Do you want the goat again? If I buy silk thongs from your link, will you see the purchase? It doesn't show me who bought what. No. But I think there's a way you can see like what products were what the highest purchased products were. But it doesn't link anything back to anybody or let me track who bought what else they bought in their cart or anything like that. Doesn't work like that. I want an official Recovery Addict signed Screaming Goat. Becca, the only problem with that is I would have to buy it and ship it to me and sign it and repackage it and then ship it back out. And between all that, the cost would be like triple because of I don't get the same cheap shipping that Amazon gets. Maybe I could send like a vinyl RA signature that you could just stick to your goat. Alice is like, I'm glad you can't see. I'm glad. So we all have to buy silk thongs to provide Ivan some real cover. Yeah, that's how it goes. What else is on Amazon's? I've tried to make an Amazon list. I need somebody to educate me on how to do it. A couple people have asked me to make a list. When I first started, I got a lot of people who are interested in some of the stuff that we have on the desk as far as what makes the live stream happen. And so I started building a list that way, but it didn't work very well, or I didn't do it right or something. But a lot of people are interested in some of the equipment that we use, but they do sell clear stickers on a sticker. We also do a signature sticker. Isn't that like a bad idea? Because you guys will then someone will make a check and stick my sticker to it, and I've signed a check now. About 5. Can I have a vinyl signature for a very fair price? I haven't figured out what my RA signature is yet. I've only signed 2 objects in the last 2 years with RA as a signature. I think both of them were clothing. Alita Lay, you can vouch for this. I have a terrible autograph, right? Kelly May, I finally ordered a goat. Oh man, Saturdays are great, guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm very invested in this court case, and I appreciate the levity and the camaraderie that we share here as we're watching this, because this is a heavy case for sure. Virginia, oh yeah, you missed the whole story. Giraffe Gal says, celebrating today, we have a gorgeous grandson. Mom and baby are great. We are first-time grandparents. Giraffe Gal, that is awesome. I anticipate that I will be joining you in the next year and a half as a grandparent, which is crazy because in my head I'm still a kid, right? I still see myself as, just out of high school as far as life's concerned. And Grandpa RA it just doesn't roll off the tongue yet. But that is awesome. Congratulations. That's really neat. This is my version of the Breakfast Club, says Keshet. I do love the Doritos Smart Popcorn you promoted from Walmart. Oh my goodness. I like it too much. I've had 2 bags, and when I say I've had 2 bags, I don't think I shared at all. Between you and EDB, there's some poor guy sat in sales thinking, why is this so popular? That's funny. All right, we're back. Let's see what the...
One second, please.
Milo, it sounds like it was something from this case that was really difficult for him. Could have been, people are hateful, and they hear his name associated or blamed, and they get hate mail. You get stuff in your house.
General, you may continue your drip.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That has an effect on you for sure.
I'm trying to remember where we left off. Give me just a second. Okay.
Closest one's in South Carolina.
I think we had left off on me asking you if the defendant had told you how many times she had seen Evelyn after leaving her with Ethan. Is that the last question I asked you?
I think we were somewhere in that area for
Okay.
sure.
And do you remember what she told you?
I believe what she said was that she had not seen Evelyn since that day.
Okay. Did she tell you that she had been trying to get in touch with Ethan?
I think she said she'd reached out to him maybe one time, once or twice.
Okay.
I don't know how many people would want a signed goat.
Did she ever tell you that she was getting worried about Evelyn and her safety?
No, I think she said she just hadn't really given it a lot of thought.
Okay.
Oh, that hurts.
Did you ask why she hadn't contacted law enforcement?
We did.
What'd she say?
I think she just said she didn't really have a good...
There's another objection. The question was, did you ask her why she hadn't contacted law enforcement? And Mr. Gatz was, I think she said that she...
Sustained.
Okay, so I'm going to ask, when I ask you a question, if you don't know the answer, you don't have to tell me.
Sure.
We try not to speculate with words like I think or things like that, okay? So I may back up just a few questions and ask you those questions again, okay? Did Megan say she tried to get in touch with Ethan after the last time she had seen Evelyn?
I know she said that, yes.
Okay.
That's better.
Did she say she ever got worried about Evelyn and or her safety?
She said she had not.
Okay. Did you ask her why she hadn't contacted law enforcement?
We did ask her that.
And what was her response?
Specifically, I don't recall what she said.
Okay. What was her demeanor during this interview?
I would describe it as just very nonchalant.
Okay.
Nonchalant. She hadn't.
And on
given
the
it
same
any
day,
thought.
do you recall being present when she was interviewed again?
Yes.
Okay. And was anyone else present during that interview?
Yes.
And who was present?
At the time, it was Sergeant Matt Price.
Okay. Was the interview audio and video recorded?
It was.
And where did it take place?
It was also at the sheriff's office.
Okay. And is that in Sullivan County, Tennessee?
It is.
How much time had passed from the interview we just talked about to this interview that we're getting ready to talk about?
Something like 8 hours. The interview we initially discussed ended at around 3 in the morning. The interview at the next day was around midday, noon.
Okay. So you said the first one ended around 3 in the morning. Is that right?
That is correct.
And what time do you believe the second one began?
It was around noon the following day, the 20th.
Okay. Without going into the details of that interview, we're going to go ahead and jump ahead to the following day, February 21st. Was the defendant interviewed again on February 21st?
She was.
Was anyone else present for that interview?
Matt Price,
Okay.
Sheriff's Office.
Okay. And was that interview also audio, video recorded?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Prior to that interview, had the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation collected some of Megan Boswell's property from the residents of Hunter Wood?
Yes, a couple of our agents had collected some of her property.
Okay. And did Megan Boswell give you consent to search and collect those items?
She did.
Okay. Okay, just a second.
Did I miss Did I miss him yawning, Shirley? Uh-oh. Don't zoom in. That's really close. That's really close. Cameraman, don't zoom in. Get out. Bail, bail, bail. It's too close. He's not giving us the bird there in the back. It's 2 fingers up, not 1. This is too tight. Oh, I can't look. I can't look. Tell me when it's over.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, there's no safe place. The cameraman's trying to hide. Where can I turn?
Okay.
Focus on the judge. Judge is a safe bet. It did get worse.
Okay. I'm going to pass you some items from evidence. Would you prefer? I'll send it.
Scissors up there. There's a pair of scissors.
If you want.
Angela, thank you very much. 17 months.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words.
Okay,
Wouldn't
you
be the same without you.
There should be some gloves up there. Do you see gloves up on the table?
I do. I'm putting them on now.
Okay.
Thanks for telling us what you're doing. Is he gonna pop them? Snap them?
Oh, yeah, 2 of them right here. Tell me to handle them.
Bug Dugger, thank you very much. It sounded like it was just an audio recording. I'm not sure if we're going to get that yet, or if we're going to get it at all.
We also need these. Okay, you have that one opened?
No, I was sort of waiting on you to ask a question.
If you could go ahead and open that item.
I like that response. No, you didn't tell me to. ASMR.
Okay, can you tell me what that is?
This is a small Polaroid type picture that the defendant described was taken at I believe that one was the Blowing Rock trip in North Carolina.
Okay. And to your knowledge, is there a date at all on that? There may not be, I don't know.
This photograph does not have a date on it.
Okay.
Can't think of a better name.
Did you
Welcome to the gallery.
obtain that photo? Was that from, where was that photograph obtained from?
It was from a box of belongings belonged to the defendant.
Okay. We'd ask that be made exhibit number 188.
Okay. 188.
You want it back in the envelope?
May we publish, Your Honor?
Did he just hand it to the bailiff? The witness is wearing gloves, the bailiff is not. The bailiff just grabbed it. I'm going to go watch the replay on that. I think the bailiff just grabbed it with bare hands. Norm doesn't do gloves.
Permission to publish? Okay. And how did you know what this was a photograph of?
At the time during the interview, myself and Sergeant Price were sitting there with the defendant, pulling these items out, asking her to describe these items to us.
Okay. And she described that as being from Blowing Rock?
That's correct.
Okay. Oh, actually, I want to receive first.
Norm just placed his thumb right on the top of that picture.
Okay, again, I'm going to ask to open it and see if you can identify it.
While he's doing that, I'm going to show you the replay. If I can, give me just 1 second. Let me get that on the screen for you.
All right.
Okay. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
These are a couple of the brochures the defendant described as coming from the trip that they had taken over to North Carolina, they being the defendant and her boyfriend, Hunter.
Okay. So how many documents do you have in front of you?
3.
Okay. And what are they individually?
One is titled The Official Visitor's Map and Guide to Blowing Rock, North Carolina.
Okay.
Another one is Mystery Hill, which has a map of North Carolina. North Carolina's natural gravitational anomaly.
Okay.
Another one
we have an anomaly.
North Carolina's oldest tourist attraction, the Blowing Rock.
Okay. If you could slide those back in, I'm going to show them to the defense really quickly.
Norm's going to palm them all again. Okay. Okay. Let me, after we see this, as soon as we have just a moment to just audio testimony, I'm going to show you Norm grabbing the picture, the first picture, the Polaroid picture from the defendant.
Your Honor, we'd offer this as exhibit number 189, please.
The look he gives Norm is great.
Exhibit 189.
I've not been to Blowing Rock yet. I've not. I've lived here for, 6 years now, and I've not been.
And where did you find those brochures?
They were with the defendant's belongings.
And where were, when you say the defendant's belongings, where were those belongings located?
Inside the residence of Hunter Wood.
Okay.
This portion of the trial is sponsored by the North Carolina Tourist Authority. Okay. Here we go. He's going to keep opening that. While he does that, let me show you the replay. Oops, the replay is right. Here we go. So, bailiff's headed up to grab it. Take a look at Mr. Gatz as he glances up. He's like, bailiff makes eye contact. Looks down at his hands. Reaches up the gloved hand.
Okay. Do you recognize that?
Bailiff
Yes,
extends
I do.
What is it?
bare hand.
These are photographs of the defendant and
grabs it.
Okay.
Sets his thumb
and
right on the
that
picture.
Also something that you collected for belongings?
And goes back.
Yes.
Okay. Does it appear,
Thought you'd like that.
well, if I could just pass those back first and let Mr. Scott take a look at those.
I don't know why it matters. It was just a photo, and it probably doesn't matter. But they've asked the witness to wear gloves. And Norm, the bailiff, is like, nope, I do my thing. The witness is trying not to laugh about the bailiff.
May we approach?
Let's see. I don't know why they're wearing gloves for brochures, for things like that. It doesn't make sense to me that way, but I do think it's funny that they're attempting to at least maintain that sort of protocol on one hand and then completely not on the other. Trying to answer a question for you all about the space shuttle on the desk. While they're doing this, it looks like the space shuttle, if I turn me off, is actually, it looks like it says Discovery. Looks like it's Space Shuttle Discovery. Under the flag, you see the name? So, not the Challenger.
All right, sustained in heart, a rule of heart.
And we'd ask these be made
Collective 190.
190. Permission to publish.
Go ahead.
I thought these were admitted already.
Is that a fair and accurate representation of one of the photos that you took from the defendant's property?
Yes, it is.
Were these located within anything?
They were inside of a box that the defendant identified as hers.
Okay. Same thing with that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Elizabeth, I think you nailed the answer there. Thank you. Those were the actuals versus the digital copy.
Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it?
This is a card titled Thinking of You with Love.
Okay. And does it have any names on it?
Love the dimple smile.
Yes, the names on it are Maggie and Hunter.
Okay. And can you tell the jury where that was collected?
It was with the defendant's belongings.
Okay. If you could pass that back, please.
We resolved it.
We resolved it.
Resolved it.
Don't approach anymore. Sit down, Judge. Chops, good to have you back. Eggs and spam.
You recognize that?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
These are photographs of the victim, Evelyn, 2 photographs of Evelyn, 1 photograph of Evelyn with the defendant.
Okay, and where were those found?
With the defendant's belongings.
Okay, if you could pass those back, slide them back in the envelope and pass them back.
They're talking about it now. Bailiff's just grabbing stuff with his hands. They said, bailiff's busted. Norm, they're going to throw you under the bus. We're all using gloves, and Norm is just grabbing stuff with his hands. See if the bailiff gets summoned over really quickly.
Sustained.
Sustained, there was an objection. Norm doesn't care. He's still doing it. No, we called him Norm. I don't know what his real name is. I love getting to know some of the personalities of court personnel. A lot of times we see the judge and we see the attorneys, but the court personnel do all the work. So big shout out to bailiffs and clerks and reporters and judicial assistants who make the wheels of justice turn smoothly.
You recognize that?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is a receipt from the Olive Garden on Northeastman Road in Kingsport, Tennessee.
Okay. Was that also taken from the defendant's property?
It was.
Okay. Any objection? Okay. We'd ask that be offered as exhibit number 191.
Exhibit 191.
If I could have it passed back to the witness briefly. I forgot to ask you, what is the date on that receipt?
It's January the 11th, 2020.
Okay, thank you.
Whoa. Josh just shared the link to the space shuttle model that's on the desk. Boeing store sells it for $200. It's a $200 model.
I'm going to ask if I could please have, you saw that exhibit with you? You can pass that back down to the clerk. And then ask if exhibit number 29 or 21 can please be passed to the witness. No, sorry, not 21. I'm wrong. Hold on. It would be number 91. Sorry. I'm going to ask if you could take a look at that. And see if you recognize that.
Yes, I recognize this.
What is it?
This is a shirt that belonged to the victim, Evelyn Boswell.
Okay, where was that found?
It was inside what the defendant referenced as a baby box.
Okay. And where was that baby box located?
It was with the defendant's belongings.
At where?
Hunter's residence.
Hunter's residence, okay. Your Honor, we had previously marked that exhibit as number 91 for ID only. We'd ask that be made a full exhibit at this time.
No objection.
Agent Gratz, I'm going to ask for you, let me ask the court, may I publish it, Your Honor? Agent Gratz, I'm going to ask for you to take it out of the package and show it to the jury, please.
Do you just want me to hold it up?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to stand up so everyone
That's the
can see
baby.
it.
Is that the baby shark
Thank
one?
you.
Careful, Cameron. Careful. It's the furthest to the right we've seen in this
Okay,
court case.
thanks.
That's the one that Sue had made.
I'm going to ask if Exhibit 92 could please be passed to the witness. Same thing, I'm going to ask if you could open that exhibit and see if you can identify it.
I think that's right. Sue was the sister.
Don't show it to the jury yet.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
This is a child's blanket.
Okay, and does it have any special features on it that are identifiable? What type of blanket is it?
It's a shark blanket.
Okay.
Baby shark.
And where was that located?
It was with the defendant's belongings.
Okay, at Hunter's Woods residence?
Yes.
Okay. And was that also in that box that you were referencing?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, that had been previously marked as ID only. We would ask that it be made into a full exhibit.
No objection.
Full exhibit 92.
Now the jury can see.
Now you can.
Okay. May we publish it, Your Honor?
You want me to stand up again?
So long as the court is okay with that. Okay. Okay, thank you.
No court tomorrow. We'll take one day off.
So before we went through all of those, we were talking about that interview from February 21st with Sergeant, now Lieutenant Price. Was that interview audio and video recorded?
Yes, it was.
Where did it take place?
At the sheriff's office.
And is that in Sullivan County, Tennessee?
Yes, it is.
During this interview, you discussed a second ago the term memory box. At some point, did you have an interview with the defendant regarding this memory box?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Can you tell the jury a little bit about, just briefly, what you did with the defendant?
During that interview, we had what the defendant referred to as the memory box, and we pulled items out of it sort of one by one and had the defendant identify what each item was and the significance of each item,
Okay.
if any.
And what was your purpose in doing that?
You know, at that point, we were just following whatever leads were coming in. We had received that property, and we were trying to identify what it was, determine how it was relevant, and also establish a timeline for the last known whereabouts of Evelyn Boswell.
And did the defendant freely and voluntarily go through that box with you?
Yes.
Okay, give me just 1 second. Your Honor, may we approach?
This is not an objection. Some judges will say, before you go into this area, especially if there's been an issue that's been heavily litigated pre-trial, before you get close to that line, approach, talk to me, and just make sure it's okay. And it sounds like this judge is one of those. I didn't watch the pre-trial for this particular case, so I'm not sure if that is what's happening. But we know he's very strict, and so it sounds like both sides are being cautious, not trying to make any sudden moves that would surprise the judge that he might get upset about. I think they may have been together a lot less than she let on.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll go with the officers.
Another one.
One stand, please.
Those black gloves, I associate those with the YouTube videos of people who are cooking prime rib, showing you how to prepare it. I want like purple or green evidence gloves.
May be seated, thank you.
All right, we'll be in recess 10 or 15 minutes. You want to take whatever.
What in the world? We've got less than an hour. If they take a 10 or 15 minute break, we only have 45 minutes left until 4. This trial is going to last a month. It is. It might last a month. They said it was going to be 4 to 6 weeks, or 2 to 4 weeks. Now I can't remember. 6 weeks just sounds right. Sent more info on the aircraft to the burner. Thank you, Josh. Let's see, NASA. Oh, the Discovery flight facts. It's crazy how many times it flew. Wow. 2 to 4 weeks. Maybe the judge is not a camel. I think this is evidence. This is prepping evidence and sorting things out. Should be counting the breaks. We have a lot. I think we've had almost as many breaks as we've had objections today. Oldest son wants to be a pilot and or work for SpaceX if baseball player doesn't pan out. I think baseball player will work for him, though. He's a talented kid. She asked to approach, and then it turned into a break. Yeah, so it wouldn't be a... It's got to be evidence. It's got to be getting something ready, prepping it in some way. May get a verdict by spring break. Oh, yeah. Can we turn off slow mode? I might be able to turn it down. Let me check. You guys have been really good. But if it goes really fast, it's hard for the mods to keep up. It's only at 30 seconds right now. So you get to type something every 30 seconds. That's pretty quick. I'll shave 10 seconds off and hope the mods don't boycott. So every 20 seconds, how about that? If we change the counter to breaks, we're going to have somebody go back and count all the breaks so we can get enough. Okay, it's like I know, but I have more thoughts than once every 30 seconds. All right. Silly question. Any idea why my little courthouse doesn't show next to my name when I use my phone to chat? Yogi, what probably is the case is you may have two different YouTube or Google accounts. So on your phone, you're logged into a different one than on your other device. We see that a lot with people who might have multiple email accounts. What you can do is you can go on each device and go into the settings and see what you're subscribed to, or go into the settings and see what email is linked to that account. That might show you that there's a different account pulled up there. Tammy Lynn, can someone please tell me her charges? Oh my goodness, Tammy Lynn, that's a big one. That's a big one because she has like 20 or 22 charges. Let me see if I can pull those up for you. A lot of them are duplicates, but let's see. Here we go. Let's see. 19 charges. Felony murder, aggravated child abuse, a dozen counts of lying to various law enforcement agents, and there's also buffer check burner. Thank you, Josh. Amber's got it here. I'm just looking for a list of the charges. There's a good timeline in here. All right, here we go. Thank you. First-degree murder, 2 counts of felony murder, aggravated child abuse, aggravated child neglect, tampering with evidence, 11 counts of a false report, abuse of a corpse, failure to report a death under suspicious, unnatural, or unnatural circumstances. That's a ton. Thank you, Josh, for that. Yeah, most of the charges are for the lies alone. Lies to law enforcement. She told more lies. She told lies to a lot of people, but the ones to law enforcement are where the crimes come in. The jury instructions are going to take a hot minute once it comes time to do that. I remember Daryl Brooks had a pretty lengthy jury instructions as well with all those charges. Tennessee does have the death penalty. They are not seeking it in this case. Martha, I believe a lot of these will consolidate down. Rosie, you're correct. The very beginning of this trial began with the judge welcoming everybody, swearing in the jury, and then having a reading of the indictment. It was a grand jury indictment that got us to trial. And everything was read, and it seemed to take forever. The other Jules, thank you. I see your DNA on the like button. I will go ahead and mark you off the naughty list. I appreciate that. Kiara, we're joking a little. We hope we're joking when we say it's going to take 6 weeks. It was supposed to take 2 to 4. We have a sequestered jury. Usually that means the judge is going to push for the lawyers to make good use of time, to work full days, get the witnesses lined up, and not have large gaps where the jury is sent home early for the day. And also we're working the weekends to try to speed that up. So I think it's still a possibility to do 2 weeks, but I also think that the time the judge says 2 to 4 weeks includes the jury selection, which gives like 2 or 3 extra days at the front end that we did not watch. It's a month. 4 weeks is a month. Federal holiday on the 17th. Is that President's Day? Is that what's coming up? She has been in custody this whole time. She was ordered held on a $1 million bond. Nicola, we did notice that the defense is watching court TV, and they're allowed to do that. That's not a problem. Defense can do that. So that's not a bad thing they're doing that. It's, matter of fact, it probably helps them to get an insight into what the jury might be thinking as they sort of peruse chat with whatever might be there. But the problem with all of that is that we noticed because it was on camera. And it was on camera because the cameraman sort of got a nice tight shot of the defense table, including their laptop. And the judge did reprimand the cameraman at the end of yesterday's live stream for that, and basically saying, if that happens again, I've got 3 hots and a cot for you waiting at the jail for 10 days, because that would be contempt, because it was ordered not to. The space shuttle Lego starts at 469 euros on eBay Germany. Whoa! How many pieces is that, Zimmy? And I realize generally the higher end models are pretty expensive with Lego. Like if you get the a 1/4 size, life size Millennium Falcon, it's ridiculously expensive. It's not 1/4 size, but that's a ton of money for Legos. Bet that was a gift. Probably was. 1,230 pieces. That's more than I have buttons, Zimmy. That's a ton. Curious to know if anyone knows how bonds are set. 1 million bond sounds so high, even though I get the nature of the crimes the factor. I think it's set for a couple of reasons. They set it based on the risk of flight, like they might run. That's the thing. The bond is posted to get them to come back to court, to get them to face the trial. But possibly because we do have evidence that she did just on a whim just jump out of state and run down to Texas and check out, hang out with, or where was it, Louisiana, hang out with Ethan. Maybe they didn't want to have her run that way. And also the charges are serious. The number of charges, all that goes into it. that price, does it convert into a drone? I think it's a flyable model. Let's see. Let me look at it again. Let's see. Let's jump over here. We're just going to zoom in really quickly and take a look at the, let's go this way and zoom a little bit. Not on him. I know you guys want me to zoom on him. No, we're going to look at the space shuttle right here. It's a wood model. It's an all wood model. You can see the individual O-rings on the boosters. It does say Discovery down there on the bottom. You can't see it here, but it sits on a stand with a pole, a lot like my skeleton does, Mr. Bones, on my desk. And so it sits 3 or 4 inches above the surface of the desk. You can see you've got a couple books and things back there that shows that it's sort of elevated. So it does look like it's sort of in flight or mid-launch, just without the smoke. It's not one of the models that you build yourself, though. It comes pre-assembled. It's not Lego. It's wood with the glossy finish. Lego Hogwarts, $150, over 3,000 pieces. We bought my son a. They call them mini Legos, but they're not actually a Lego brand. It's a knockoff brand, but it had 1,200 pieces, and he loved it. It's a little micro. I think it was like Notre Dame or something. I don't remember what it was. It was Big Ben. It was Big Ben in the House of Parliament over in England. Purple coconut. Yeah, he's wearing gloves, I think. Let me check. There was a point where he took off his gloves, right? He stood up and took off his gloves. Let me grab that for you. Takes a second. I've got to swap memory cards. Back recording. Give me a second to get this pulled up. Purple coconut. I'm going to get in trouble for this one. Tinker Toys and Lincoln Logs were in my childhood. Yeah, I was not a Lego kid very much. They were too expensive for our household. Unless they got the little tiny set that had like 10 pieces. You know, like this the little man with the motorcycle. That's the one we got. We ended up as parents. I love Legos, and Mrs. R.A. loves Legos. It's a great creative medium for kids to build and just do what they like and discover and just have fun. But we went out looking for Legos, and of course, buying them at the store was not the. I see a ring. Sorry, let me pull this up and show you. Okay, here you go. This is your view. We'll play through nice and slowly. So the gloves come off, not that hand. Here's the slow reveal. Look right there. I'm seeing it there. Wait for it. A little shine. Gloves go in the pocket. Little shine again on the finger. And boom. There it is. So yes. There's a ring. All right. There you go. Don't say I didn't ever give you anything. So yeah, we'd only do this on a Saturday. It's funny. Great witness, though. He's doing an absolute fabulous job. Very difficult case. I imagine. Imagine it was difficult for a lot of these investigators. That's why, yes, all the buttons. That's the replay machine that makes that possible. But we will. Go ahead and get that back where it goes. I think this afternoon before I go buy a shower with Mrs. R.A., need to get my replay machine working so I don't have to swap cards out. Needs to work over the network. My objection title disappeared. I brought it back. Thank you very much, Pam. I'm going to feel the... Oh, Amber. Love that. That's a Ricky. That's a Rickyism right there. Oh, man, lots to learn. Tinker Toys. Those were fun. Judge is in a good mood. That's always a good sign. Tammy, that's the big one. That's the not the piece de resistance. That's the movie. What's it called? The la creme de la creme. The top. The Millennium Falcon in Lego is the best. Joe, thanks for posting a message telling him to hurry. We appreciate that. See if we can bring the jury back. May have about half an hour or so left of court. Might run a little bit later because of these delays. See, Kaylee, you're using up your chat options with complaining about slow mode, which makes it seem longer. If you just wait for a second and then share the chat you wanted to share, it might work better. Or we just need somebody to gift you a membership. Is your gift setting turned on? Kaylee. Sometimes it says, wait 0 more seconds. Oh. Legos are really hard on the feet. Legos are hard on plumbing, too. Man, we paid $600 to get Legos.
Exhibit number 189 passed back to the witness for just a second. It should be on the far right on that table. Thank you. Yeah. I'm going to ask for you to open that back up. To be brochures from Blowing Rock. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
You want to dust for Norm's fingerprints?
If you could look into those brochures and see if you anything that indicates a date.
Kim, thank you. Danny Austin, thank you very much. Gifted.
There's a receipt here.
Okay.
Gifted 5.
The date indicated is January the 19th, 2020.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Cash Hat, thank you as well.
That's all I need from that. Thank you.
Very generous. I think he's got new gloves on. The other ones were in his pocket.
Can I ask if you can open that up and see if you can identify it?
Yes, this is like a memory book that says "Hello, Baby" on the front, and it appears to have an ultrasound.
And where was that found?
It was with the defendant's belongings.
Okay, at what location?
Hunter's residence.
Okay. Okay. We will ask to be moving that as exhibit number 192.
Josh, thank you as well.
Any objection?
No objection for our agreement. That's great.
What's he mouthing the words? I'm not going to give it to him. He doesn't have his gloves on.
Full exhibit 192.
And what I'm going to do right now is just ask for you to, Your Honor, may we publish this to the jury, just the front of the book. Okay. If you could just hold up the front of the book so the jury can see the front of the book, please. Okay. Thank you. And we briefly talked before the break. Is that the book that we were discussing in regards to that interview?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, you can pass that back to the clerk.
The bailiff does not wear gloves. He just grabs it all. Lynette.
At some point, did the defendant tell you someone other than Ethan allegedly had Evelyn?
She did, yes.
And who did she allege had Evelyn?
After a period of time, the defendant told us that her mother, in fact, had Evelyn Boswell.
Okay, is that... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Her mother's name is Angela Boswell,
okay.
Also referred to as Angel from time to time.
And were you able to locate Angela Boswell?
Yes, she was located.
And where was she located?
In Wilkes County, North Carolina.
Okay. Was she with anyone?
She was with a man named William McLeod.
Okay. Did Angela have Evelyn?
No, she did not.
Okay. At this point in the investigation, had anything led you to believe that Angela had Evelyn at any point?
No.
Okay. Did you yourself end up going to North Carolina?
Yes, I did.
And why?
To interview Angela Boswell and William McLeod.
Okay. Moving forward a few days, do you remember meeting with Megan Boswell again on February 23rd, 2020?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Who was present for that interview?
Now Lieutenant Matt Price.
Okay. Where did that interview take place?
At the sheriff's office.
Okay. Is that located in Sullivan County, Tennessee?
Yes, it is.
What was the purpose of that interview?
At that point, we were still speaking with the defendant, trying to get as much information as we could regarding the investigation.
Okay. Had you started developing a timeline at any point?
Yes, that's one thing that we worked on throughout this investigation that is important when you're looking for a missing person to determine their last known whereabouts.
Okay. And were you continually working in and out of the sheriff's department during this time?
Yes.
Did you have a scheduled interview with the defendant on February 25th of 2020?
No, we did not.
Okay. Did you see the defendant that day?
Yes, she showed up at the sheriff's office.
Okay. And is that located in Sullivan County?
It is, yes.
Okay. Did the defendant tell you why she showed up that day?
Initially, or throughout talking with her, she gave a couple of different reasons.
Okay. What did she say?
She was concerned about having her body spray returned to her. She was talking about forming a search party to go to an area she kept referring to as Mendota. And she was asking about whether she would be, or whether there would be any issues with tampering with evidence.
Okay. Did she specify why she was concerned about tampering with evidence?
The defendant told us that someone had told her that she might get arrested for tampering with evidence.
Okay. Had law enforcement heard about Mendota?
Yes, Mendota had been brought up a few times as a possible place to search.
Okay. Did the defendant at this time show you any concern for Evelyn?
She did not.
Do you recall speaking with her in a different manner to try to get her to give you more information about where Evelyn might be?
I'm sorry, could you clarify that for me?
Did you give her any possible scenarios?
Yes, during the interview of that particular February 25th interview, we discussed with her, were there any other possibilities about the whereabouts of Evelyn? For example, was she aware that something happened and wasn't telling law enforcement?
Okay, and what do you mean something happened? Can you describe further what you mean by that?
I was specifically asking her about whether Evelyn had any breathing issues, for example, whether she had stopped breathing at some point and the defendant just didn't know what to do and hadn't yet reported that to law enforcement.
Okay. What made you decide to suggest this to her?
There were several reasons. Throughout the investigation, we were consulting with our forensic scientist in the lab, as well as the doctors at the William Jenkins Forensic Center about possibilities in child deaths. And some of the issues that had come up were positional asphyxiation.
Okay. You used the word positional asphyxiation. Is that a word you used with the defendant?
In the interview, I don't think I said those specific words.
Okay. Do you know what word do you recall what specific words you used?
Specifically, I think I just was asking about whether the victim had stopped breathing.
Okay. So you asked her specifically if Evelyn might have stopped breathing.
And that caught her off guard.
Were you suggesting an accident, or were you suggesting that it was, for lack of a better word, a homicide at this point?
You know, we were open to all types of theories at that point, but we did want to know whether an accident had occurred sometime in the past and she had done something and just not told us about it at that point.
When you discussed these things with her, did she continue to maintain nothing like that had happened?
She did. She denied that there was ever any breathing issues.
Okay. Did she maintain she told you everything?
Multiple times the defendant had told us that she had told us everything that she knew.
Okay. And do you recall that interview ending?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And do you recall where that interview took place within the building?
It took place in several parts of the building. At one point, we were upstairs in the sheriff's office, and at another point, we had walked the defendant downstairs to essentially escort her out of the building.
Okay, so you walked her down yourself?
I believe now Lieutenant Price was with me.
Okay. When you got to the door, did you see anything outside?
Yes, at that time, the news media was just right outside the front door.
Okay. What did you do when you saw them?
We offered out of a courtesy to the defendants, do you want to go out another door so you don't have to face them?
Okay. Did you, in fact, walk her to a different door?
Yes, we walked her out a side door at the sheriff's office.
Okay. And did you see the defendant after that?
Yes.
What did you see? What did you see?
She had walked from that side door back to the front of the building and then gave an interview with the news.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
In looking for Evelyn, how many times did law enforcement search that trailer park where the defendant was living with Evelyn?
I know multiple. I know I was there twice, and I know other law enforcement officers had gone in addition to that.
Anything ever found other than the stroller we've already talked about that was helpful to the investigation?
No.
Okay. Can you please tell us how many law enforcement agencies had been called in to help find Evelyn Boswell?
Deanne, thank you so much for giving
the specific number. I don't know. However, it was a large amount of law enforcement. Essentially, all of the TBI resources out of the Johnson City office. Several from the Knoxville office, many people from Nashville were helping. I know our aviation unit, several pilots assisted with a plane, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, all of Sullivan County Sheriff's Office and probably every local agency in the greater East Tennessee area. The United States Marshal Service was involved at times. Our partner agency in North Carolina, the State Bureau of Investigation, assisted, along with the Wilkes County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. Was a tip line established in order to try to find Evelyn?
Yes, in scenarios like this, we use a tip line, the number being 1-800-TBI-FIND.
Okay. And do you know approximately how many tips came in during that time?
A couple of thousand.
Okay. How does the law enforcement agency determine which leads to follow?
At different times, especially early on in the investigation, we man the tip line with different agents, different analysts in Nashville are keeping eyes on every tip that go in, and we essentially use our experience and determine which tips that maybe we should look at first and try to prioritize them and continue to working them until we can close them and move on to others.
Okay. Are you confident that every credible lead was followed to the end?
Absolutely.
Okay. And were you given leads based on information that Megan Boswell gave you directly? Individuals to look at?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you mean.
Did you follow the leads based on information that Megan Boswell gave you?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay. Can you tell us what, like just one at a time, what was one of those leads that she gave you as to where Evelyn was?
So we got the initial story that Evelyn was with Ethan, and us and other law enforcement agencies and the Army CID essentially eliminated that lead.
Okay. Do you feel confident that you were able to eliminate Ethan as a suspect?
Yes.
Okay. What about Angela Boswell?
Same answer, yes.
Okay. Did you investigate Angela Boswell?
Yes.
Did you investigate her boyfriend, Will McLeod?
Yes, we did.
Based on your investigation, were you able to confidently eliminate Angela Boswell and Will McLeod as suspects?
Objection, Your Honor. We approach.
There's an objection. Sustained to the objection.
Objection sustained as to board.
Okay, I'm going to rephrase the question, okay? Were you able to eliminate Angela Boswell and or Will McLeod, her boyfriend, as suspects in this case?
Yes.
Okay. What about Mendota?
Yes, that area was thoroughly searched by multiple law enforcement agencies, and we never found any bit of information or evidence that linked to that area to Evelyn Boswell.
Can you briefly tell the jury what Megan Boswell had told you about Mendota?
The defendant kept referencing campgrounds in Mendota. I wasn't really sure what she meant at the time, but she kept bringing up, you should go to Mendota, and she just kept bringing it up.
Okay. Was Mendota investigated?
Thoroughly, yes.
Okay. Were you able to locate anything of importance to this investigation in Mendota and or at a campground in Mendota?
No, nothing.
Okay. Pass your document. Ask if you can identify it.
Yes, I recognize this.
Okay. What is it?
This is an application for applying for a residence at the Overlook Apartments.
Okay. And can you tell us why you looked at Overlook Apartments?
We were given information that the defendant had applied to live there with her boyfriend.
Okay. Her boyfriend?
Hunter Wood.
Okay. And is that something that was collected from Overlook Apartments?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate representation of what was collected from Overlook Apartments?
Yes.
Okay. We'd ask that be... Yeah. Okay.
One more approach on the application for an apartment with Hunter. Yes, approach again. This was another objection by the defense.
All right. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay.
Objection was withdrawn.
We would ask that be admitted as exhibit number 193.
The full exhibit 193.
And permission to publish. Okay. Oops. Okay. Is this the application you were just talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall when they were looking, or does it say, when were they looking to try to get an apartment at Overlook Apartments?
January the 4th, 2020.
Did you learn how many occupants that the defendant and Hunter Wood put on their application?
Yes, 3.
Okay. Did you talk to the defendant about who the third occupant was going to be?
Yes, I did.
Did the defendant say the third occupant was going to be Evelyn Boswell?
No.
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
The defendant told us that at that time she was pregnant and the third occupant was for the unborn baby.
Okay.
Whoa.
So then did you go one step further and ask her why Evelyn was not listed on that application?
Yes, yes, I did.
Okay, what did she say?
She told us it was not Evelyn because Hunter either would not or did not want Evelyn to live with him.
Okay. Was she able to explain where Evelyn was going to be living then, if not with her and Hunter?
No.
Jumping ahead to March 6, 2020, do you recall being contacted by the defendant's father, Tommy Boswell?
Yes.
Okay. And without going into hearsay on what he told law enforcement, did law enforcement go to Tommy Boswell's property?
Yes, initially myself and Detective Haraz.
Okay. And is that located in Blunkville?
Yes, it is.
Do you remember the street name or address?
Muddy Creek at 539/543.
Okay. And is that located in Sullivan County?
Yes, it is.
What was the purpose of going there?
We were under the impression some of the defendant's property was at that location.
Okay. Do you recall what time you arrived at that location?
It was around 5:30 that evening or afternoon.
Okay. And did Tommy Boswell give law enforcement consent to search that day?
He did, yes.
Okay. If I could please have exhibits number 6, 8, 9. Well, 6 and then 8 through 12, please. I'll do it fast.
You're making Norm's job really hard. Go over the numbers one more time.
Pass to the witness, please. Thank you. Sorry. Okay. First, if you could take a look at exhibit number 6. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I recognize
Okay.
this.
What is it?
This is a drawing or a sketch of the scene at 539, 543 Muddy Creek.
Okay. Is there a pointer device up there besides you?
There's a flash.
That's it. Okay. If you could pass the exhibits to me, we'll try to do it that way to make it quicker.
Don't shine it in your eyes. Don't shine it in your eyes. It's like a burning
It's not a
laser.
flashlight.
Sorry. Yeah, I thought it was a flashlight.
Okay. We'll try to make it quicker this way. These have already all come into evidence, so we'll just discuss each one. Is this a diagram of the property?
The guy who sketched this on
As
some
it was
white
on
paper
March 6th of 2020.
Yes.
had no
Okay,
clue
can you
this
show
was
the jury?
main evidence.
I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. Can you show the jury where you first searched?
Are you wanting me to point at that screen?
Yes. It should work. There you go.
Would have been in this area right here. It's
The shed, the
Excuse
small
me.
shed.
It is labeled as shed.
Okay. And did you search anywhere else on the property?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us where else you searched?
That building there that's labeled as Playhouse.
Okay. Now I see a box below that also appears to say shed. Do you see that?
I see that, yes.
What was that?
That was another outbuilding that was full of, I believe the business name is Tommy's Paving or something like that. And it
So
was
Dad's
full
business.
of paving or asphalt related equipment.
Okay. All right. I'm going to show you next what's been marked as exhibit number 7. Is that the outbuilding that you were talking about a few moments ago?
Yes.
Okay. And exhibit number 8,
Yeah, this drawing is not to
is that the
scale.
outbuilding and the playhouse that you were talking about a few moments ago?
Yes.
Okay. Exhibit number 9. Can you tell us what that is?
That is a photograph of the outbuilding or shed where it shows either the defendant's or some of Evelyn's belongings.
It's essentially the shed with the door open.
Correct.
Okay. Number 10. Is this what you're calling, did you call it a playhouse?
That is correct.
Okay. Exhibit number 12. Is that just the playhouse with the door open?
Yes.
Had anything been disturbed at the time this photo was had taken place?
No.
Okay. I think I might have gotten this out of order, sorry.
Thank you, OG Boy Mama. It's good to be here with you guys. I don't know what day. I didn't hear that day announced. I just know that he called because he had seen it.
Were you present for the search of that shed/outbuilding?
Yes.
Okay. Were you also present for the search of the playhouse on the property?
Yes.
And were you aware of whose playhouse that was?
Yes. It was the playhouse of the defendant.
Okay. If I could please have shown exhibits number 13, 14, 16, and 17. Or just if I could have those passed to me, please. 13, 14, 16, 17. Thank you. These have already been admitted into evidence. First, exhibit number 13. If it unpack. Okay, I just made it worse. There we go. Okay. Is that how the playhouse appeared as you looked inside?
Yes.
Had anything been moved yet?
No.
Anything you noticed at first glance about this space?
Yes. A lot of the area in the back of the playhouse was covered in dirt, dust, debris, spiderwebs, and there were several items just right inside the door that it appeared they were placed in the playhouse more recently.
Okay. And which says in just a second. This photo, exhibit number 14, again, how does that appear to you upon first glance when you went to that scene?
That's just a better photograph showing all of the dirt, debris, or other things on top of the belongings in there.
Okay. And then last, I'm going to show you exhibit number 17. Had anything been moved prior to this photograph being taken?
No.
Okay. And if you look closely, it's hard to tell. Can you see the black trash bag in this photo?
Yes.
Okay. And again, were you present when the trash bag was removed?
Yes.
Okay. Is this trash bag the way it appeared prior to law enforcement taking it out of the trash can?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to hold on to 17 for just a second. So you stated, I'll put this one back up for just a second. You just stated that a few items appeared out of place. Can you tell the jury or use your pointer on which items you are talking about?
These trash bags.
Okay.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
And this trash can.
Okay. And you can you tell the jury why did those appear out of place to you?
Because they weren't covered with any dirt or dust or spider webs.
Okay. So based upon that, did law enforcement make the decision to look closer at some of the items in the playhouse?
Yes.
And which items were looked at closer?
The trash can and the trash bags.
Okay. And who in particular went to take a look at the trash can?
Agent Fraley.
Okay. Is that Brian Fraley with the TBI?
That's correct.
And did you witness Agent Fraley do this?
Yes.
What did you... We're going to do this kind of in steps. What did you see Agent Fraley do first?
Just reach in for the trash can.
Okay. And does he pull anything out of the trash can at some point?
Yes.
What does he pull out?
Initially, the bags that were on top.
Okay. And did you notice anything at the time that he pulled the bag on top?
Yes.
What did you notice?
A couple of things. There was some, did it look like flesh in a sort of this part of either an elbow and an arm or the part of a knee and a leg, and noticed immediately the smell of human decomposition.
Okay. Had you noticed that smell prior to that trash bag being removed?
No.
Okay. And again, in looking at this photo, actually I'll pass that back up. If I could please have number 18 and 19 and 42, please.
I don't know if they're going to show those images, but I'm going to cut away if they do. It's something I've said I'd do the entire trial.
Thank you.
You'll keep hearing the audio, but we'll be looking at a cute picture of Evelyn instead.
Okay. This has been previously admitted. With this photo, is that what you were just referencing a few moments ago?
Yes.
Is that before or after the black trash bag was removed?
This photo would have been taken after.
Okay. So now, did you think that was a baby's leg?
Initially, when I first saw it, I really thought that it might have been a baby doll. It looked like an antique, kind of a flesh color, and it was, it's hard to describe the look of the skin, but it almost did not look real. It had a shine to it, and as you can tell, it's at least getting dark at this point. We're in the evening, in the wintertime, and we're shining flashlights on it. So I specifically remember that it had like just kind of a shine to it. And initially I thought, is that a baby doll?
Okay. And you said it was dark when you were doing this?
Yes.
Okay. Did you determine that it was not a baby doll?
It was immediately apparent.
Okay. And at that point, what did law enforcement decide to do?
we sort of paused at that point and decided we needed to call some other people in. We made a decision on who was going to perform that search and how it was going to be performed.
Okay. And who did you call in?
Well, we called the forensic center. We would have been calling various supervisors for the relative agencies that were on site.
Okay. And did you remove any items from the playhouse once those individuals arrived?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you remove?
The trash can and the trash bags.
Okay. Let's see. If I could see 42. Did I already ask for that one? I'm sorry. And I'm going to be asking for 22 through 27 in a second, if that helps. Okay. So I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as exhibit number 42. Now, are these items still inside, or are they outside the playhouse at this point? Can you tell, or do I need to?
Could I? It might help if I. That helps a little bit.
As far as it goes. It's a little dark on the screen. Would you like to see the exhibit itself, or the photograph itself? Huh?
Thank you, Norm.
Okay. That's much better.
22 through 27. Are you able to tell if that is inside or outside the playhouse?
It's just outside the playhouse on a like a perch or a porch area.
Okay. If I could have that passed back for just a moment. Okay. And at this point, is Evelyn's body still inside that trash can?
Yes.
Okay. Did law enforcement start the process of removing Evelyn from the trash can?
Yes, we did.
Did that take place there, or did it take place at the forensic center?
Removing the items
body
in the trash can?
Yes.
It took place there on scene.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as exhibit number 22. Is this the start of that process?
Yes.
Can you please use your pointer and show us where Evelyn's head would be located in this photograph?
I was pointing it the wrong way. It would be down in this area.
Okay. So essentially she was head down in the trash bag. Is that right?
That's correct.
Objection, Cliff Roach.
I was leading. Essentially, she was head down was the sort of testifying. Let me, I think it'll be overruled.
Sustained.
Nope, sustained. Okay.
General, you can rephrase.
Okay. Was Evelyn in this trash bag?
Yes.
Okay. Where was Evelyn's head?
Are you wanting me to point or no? In this area.
Okay.
I'm not going to show the pictures.
Can you tell me? Well, that's all I need on that one.
If they do, I'll cut away.
Okay.
We have a beautiful picture to look at if they do. So. I do want to tell you a little bit about my thoughts on exactly how the trash bag was found. The testimony was that black bag was pressed down in there to almost form an airtight seal. It's possible that the Megan's body was moved well after she died, and the decomposition had begun, and so
Okay.
Megan.
Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is a continuation of the photographs that were being taken at the time I was taking the photographs.
Okay.
And you can see the continued process of removing the contents from the trash can.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of how that looked on that date?
Yes.
Okay, we'd ask that be made exhibit number 194.
fully clear from this.
Permission to publish.
Did I say Megan's body? Evelyn's body.
Okay. Can you tell the jury in particular what you noticed about the trash bag here, if anything?
Yes, this is a really good representation to show how the bag was packed down in the can. As you can see, essentially the outline of the can, the bag has maintained the shape when being pulled out of the can.
Okay.
This could be the supporting evidence they need to show the abuse of a corpse. That this was done.
This has already been previously admitted as number 24. Can you tell us what we are looking at here?
This is a continued photograph in the process of removing the items from the bag.
Okay. Is Evelyn in that bag?
Yes.
Can you tell us where her head is located?
Do you want me to use the pointer?
Yes, please.
It would be down in this area here.
Okay. Can you tell me what's depicted in this photograph?
This is the body of Evelyn Boswell.
Okay. And can you tell us what we're looking at here? Using the pointer if you need to.
Could you be more specific?
What are we looking at?
Okay. So again, the body is inside of these contents or this blanket. Right here is a blanket. It's grayish, and you can really start to see it's a little difficult to see on the screen with what it's doing with the colors, but right in this area you're beginning to see the outfit that Evelyn has on. And in addition to that, you're beginning to see the shape of the head of Evelyn right here, and this is aluminum foil that is formed around the victim's head.
Previously marked exhibit number 26. Can you tell the jury what we are seeing here?
This is a photograph of the trash bag after Evelyn's body was removed from the trash bag.
Okay. Again, can you tell the jury what we're looking at here?
Can you use the pointer?
Mm-hmm.
In this picture, you can see again the victim is lying here. This being the shape of the head. This is the trash bag. She had just been removed, and at the bottom of the bag were trash contents.
Okay. So what was anything else in that bag that had been removed?
I'm not sure what you mean.
You've got a bag there full of food debris. Was anything else located in that bag other than that food debris?
Along with the things that were already removed.
What else had been removed?
The blanket with the body and the aluminum foil.
Okay. So Evelyn's body was in that bag?
Yes.
Okay. Please, 34 and 40. Okay. I'll show you what's been previously marked as exhibit number 34. Can you tell the jury what they are seeing here?
Yes, you can really start to see the outline of the body at this point, of the body of Evelyn. Just right here is the head, with the blanket formed to the head. This is the outfit. That is Evelyn's hand, and this is a blanket that is wrapped around Evelyn.
Okay, can you tell us where Evelyn's face is located?
It would be right in this area.
Okay. And I'm going to show you one more, previously marked as exhibit number 40. Can you tell the jury what they are looking at here?
Yes, here I was focusing in on the trash can, specifically for this item,
Okay.
which was a piece of gum that was stuck to the side of the trash can.
And was that collected?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. After Evelyn's body had been taken out, what was done with the foil, if anything?
The foil was collected and ultimately sent to the TBI lab, initially in Knoxville, and later on it was sent to our lab in Nashville.
Okay. Okay. Ask if you recognize that.
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is a photograph taken later at the Knoxville lab of the aluminum foil that was collected.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of the foil that was collected from the body of Evelyn Boswell?
Yes.
We'd ask that be made exhibit number 195.
Any objection?
No objection.
And permission to publish. Okay. Can you tell the jury what they're looking at here?
Yes, this is different sheets of aluminum foil. They were stretched out as best that I could without damaging them, and I stretched them out onto a large table at the Knoxville lab and photographed them.
Okay. And were those also collected as evidence?
Yes, they were collected that night, and at the time they were at the Knoxville lab, and I believe shortly after that were sent to the Nashville lab.
Okay. After Evelyn's body was processed there at Muddy Creek, where did her body go?
It was taken to the forensic center in Johnson City.
Okay. And what was the purpose of that?
For Dr. Schmidt to complete an autopsy.
Okay.
I think we're leading up to the Emmy here.
Did you ever receive confirmation that the remains found in the playhouse were those of missing baby Evelyn Boswell?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I don't know if this is a good place to stop.
It's 4:10.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've reached the end and we're going to stop for today. I wanted to admonish you not to communicate with other jurors or anyone else regarding any subject connected with this crime.
Apparently we don't get to hear the admonition of the jurors. The cameraman's panicking. Where do I go? What do I do? Don't watch anything. Don't see anything. Don't read anything. You get to leave. I was hoping we'd get to hear the start time on Monday. Monday's not a holiday, is it? Gold star for the camera operator. Well, he's running scared right now is what he's doing. But props to him. Careful, careful. Not a holiday Monday. Okay. I didn't know what holiday it would be, but don't talk amongst yourselves. And we're done. Just like that. It's gone. So, President's Day the 7th. A week from Monday. Okay. A week from Monday. I pulled up my calendar to look, but nothing. Well, everybody, we made it through a Saturday. Quick recap. Today, most of today is we've focused on more of the lies that Megan told about where Evelyn was and why she wasn't with her. It's been pretty brutal to sit through, to hear. First of all, to see Megan nonchalantly dealing with things unless she's reminded about how difficult it must be, and then see her break down into tears, and then stop abruptly when the topic changes. It does strike me as not very genuine on the tear side, although I mean she appears to be wiping her face and actually crying. But the more painful to hear was the little bits of truth that seemed to leak out among the lies, where she would say, I just wanted a break. I've taken care of it for a year. It's your turn. You take care of it now. Talking about an exchange she supposedly had with Ethan about having Ethan watch Evelyn. It's pretty bad. And the investigation was, I would say, very, very effective, extremely effective. It must have been frustrating because of how slow it was for the investigators themselves. You heard in their voice every time. Almost every single investigator had some version when they're talking to Megan of, we just need to bring her home. We just need to find Evelyn. Today we need her back. She needs to be home, and the urgency they have. One of them said, I've got a picture of her up in my office. It was a picture of Megan and Evelyn together, just reminding me the urgency of this investigation, trying to find Evelyn. And that urgency was not there on Megan's part. And everyone who talked to her and questioned her sort of saw that. There was a point where she was being led out of the sheriff's office after she just showed up unplanned to talk to them. She's being led out of the sheriff's office, and as they get to the main doors, they see there's media have gathered because this had become a big story, even national story. And so they said, hey, do you want to go out a side door? She's like, yes. They take her out a side door. She goes out the side door, and the detectives walk back. They look out the front, and she's walked around to the media to give an interview. And I know in some of those interviews she was accusing the TBI of not being thorough, not doing their job, when they were just chasing down wild goose chase leads that she was leading them on with lie after lie. Telling moment also when she was in custody, or she was being questioned, and they said, we're gonna call your boyfriend, have him come pick you up, and she's like, no, I don't want him to pick me up. Can you call my mom instead? What? What was that about? But yeah, it's there were lies she had told about Hunter, and him showing up at the police station and being there for her leaving would possibly expose those lies faster than she thought they would be. So, Pat, thank you very much for the super sticker. Oh, I love it. I'm not sure if that's a twerk or what, but thank you, the victory sticker. I can't watch the media interviews. They might be shown in court, but we're going to stick with, for the most part, just seeing what the jury sees. They probably won't come in because it's not a crime to lie to the media. Otherwise, half the people on the news would be facing charges. I know Pickles, not politics, but anyway. So we'll see. We're going to pick this up on Monday. I'm not sure if the state's done on direct questioning. I think they probably have a little bit more to go into before with this witness, and it sounds like they are setting up for the ME to be they've talked about the transporting of the body, which follows chain of custody for all evidence to the medical examiner's office. We've dropped the name. We've done as much of the investigation and of the scene as can happen at the scene, and they're on the steps of the playhouse. And so logically, the ME is going to be next. I will tell you, I have not listened to this, so I don't know what the ME is going to say. I haven't followed it that closely. I haven't even watched some of the deep dives that some of the amazing creators out there, like Grizzly True Crime, have done on this, because I wanted to see this one as the jury saw it. Possibly because it is very hard for me to be, impartial and sort of fair and balanced on all things, when I've seen some very prejudicial stuff. So I'm trying to watch this from the jury's standpoint, and see, assuming that they don't have knowledge of this case. So when I give you a little insight as to where I'm thinking, it's because I don't know what's coming, and I don't know what the ME is going to say. So a couple of you have corrected me, saying the ME is going to say that different than what you said. They probably will, because I don't know, and they do. And the ME would be the one to listen to, not me on that one. Kelly Hicks, gifted a membership. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone being here. Tony, good to have you here, my friend. Wonderful having all here. It's great to get together on a weekend, on a Saturday. Hopefully your day went well. I know we're dealing with hard topics, and a lot of us are going through some difficult times right now. And I just want to thank you all for being there and for being there for each other. And you can't really ask anything more than that from your friends. And I do count you as friends. So thank you. Let's see, she went to the police station asking for her body spray back. She wanted her body spray? What about her baby? All right. I've got a little bit of home repair shopping to do, or else this bathroom is never going to get fixed. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the kind words to all of you. Thanks for all those who have put kind words about Ricky in chat, for the message that I've received as well as their words to Ayden and Brandy and everyone else who's all of you who have been just affected by his passing. But thank you so much. As I get news on that, I'll bring it to you. So probably early next week is my guess. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love. Smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again Monday morning. You only get one day off. Monday morning we'll be back with day 5 of the Megan Boswell trial. Hope you're all here. Bring a friend. It's more fun that way. You guys have a good one. Bye. I messed up the ending. I fixed it, though. Thanks for the 1,000 likes. I appreciate that. You guys are amazing.
Because he's the guy.
in front of the Walmart.